Okay. So in lab 10, I'll just go to the assignment part. Now in question number 1, all you have to do is finding the correlation coefficient R, and then you need to find a point estimate and also a PI, or a predicted values. Okay, so we will see how to do that. And also you have two methods to do this. If your correlation coefficient is significant, if it is significant, we obtain a PI and point estimate in a different way. Whereas if it is not significant, then we obtain the PI and point estimate in a different way. Okay, so we actually have two kind of method here. And second part is just summarizing your findings. That's it. Okay, so I guess I'll be doing both 1A and 1B. You just have to do 1C because 1B is quite different. Okay, let's get started. Open your GMP. You can skip this step if you already have a subset of small town file. Okay, so our first question, before that, let me open the Word file. Okay, I also have a template for assignment 10. It is uploaded in section 212, and if you do not have access to this, you can email me and I can give you the document. Okay, so this is pretty much what we do in this lab. Okay, your, as usual, your name, section is 212. Okay, first part 1A. I'll just copy the question from the lab manual. Okay. So now all we have to do is find the correlation coefficient first. So that's the first part, and next part is to find the regression equation. So once we complete these two, we still have to find a point estimate and a predicted values PI. Okay, so we have four things to do: correlation coefficient, regression equation, point estimate, and PI values. So this lab is quite lengthy. Okay, now if you want a correlation coefficient, go to analyze. Okay, I will choose multivariate methods. The reason is, if you read the question, we have three variables: height, weight, and sex. So more than two, so it is a multivariable. So I am choosing multivariate methods, multivariate. Analyze, multivariate methods, multivariate. This is a new step. Okay, so once we do this, we are going to choose both height and weight. Height, weight in the Y column. Height, weight in the Y column, and then sex in the Y column. Okay, and then just click on OK. So the plot which you can see here is a scatter plot matrix as defined here. Now all you have is height and weight, and these picture which you can see, this is a correlation coefficient. So this is like finding the linear relationship between two variables. Okay. Now where is my correlation coefficient R? It is here. Now we have four values here, and that is because the JMP will find a relationship between both height and height, the same variable. So obviously it will be 1, there is no change. And there is a linear relationship between height and weight as well. Okay, and we have relationship between weight and height, and also weight and weight. So, and that's the reason we have four values. So here you can see this is 1, and that is why we do not have any dots in that plot, in this quadrant. Okay, now here we have dots, and the correlation coefficient for this plot is 0.6223. That is the value of R. Okay, and coming back to this is also 0.6223 because it's a relationship between weight and height. And this is nothing, it's an empty plot because it's a relationship with itself. So it's the same relationship, and that's why it is 1. Okay, now all you have to do is find the correlation coefficient, and we know it is 0.6223. You will not write 1 because we don't need that. All we need is a relationship between two different variables, and we have our correlation coefficient here as 0.6223. Okay, I'll come back to the Word file. Here all you have to write is 0.6223. Okay, and that's for female. Okay, now once you enter this, you don't have to paste anything here. Now if you want, you can just go to the toolbox here. All I need is a correlation coefficient. Okay, so you can choose only the correlation. Control C, come back to your Word file, and you can paste it below here. And you can convert that into picture format if you want. Okay, so once you do this, next step is to find regression equation. But before that, in the same graph, in the same picture, if you scroll down, you also have a correlation coefficient for male. Okay, you are supposed to choose that again and copy that, come back to the Word file, paste it under male. Okay, do not mix it up. And then you are going to enter the coefficient value as 0.5620. That's because that's the coefficient correlation coefficient seen here in the picture. So you have to do for female and male both. Done? Okay. Did you get negative? No. What was your question? Yeah. Oh, this is not negative. Oh, it's not a negative. Okay, done. Okay, now we need to find the regression equation. So for that, come back to the GMP. I do not need this graph anymore. I'll just close this. Now to find the regression equation, go to Analyze. Fit y by x. Now we have y response, x factor, and also by. So this x goes to the by. Okay, and we need to decide which variable to send to the y and to the x. So that depends on the problem given. Now, if you read this, they would have mentioned it as independent variable. So they say use height as an independent variable. That means we are putting height in the x factor. Okay, whichever is called as independent variable, that variable goes to the x factor here. So this is height. Click on height, x factor. Remaining is weight. So that will go to y response. This is how you have to arrange the variables. Okay. So once you do this, click on OK. You get a scatter plot matrix. Now you need to find a regression equation. For that, click on the red arrow and choose fit line. Fit line. Okay, you get a linear fit, right? So this is your regression equation. Now you're going to copy the whole thing because I need this figure also. So copy the whole thing. You can just click on the heading here. That will choose only the female. Okay, now copy this. Copy the entire thing. Go to your Word file. Now, what you can do is you can just type it as graphs here. Okay, and this is for females, right? So females, and paste it here. Convert that into a picture format so that it looks nice. And this is a regression equation. So regression equation. Okay, so do the same thing for males. I'll go back to the subset. You have a same plot here. So I will copy the whole thing, Control C, go back to the Word file and paste it here. You can convert that into picture format. Okay. You have to choose on the red arrow, fit line, and then copy the whole thing. Copy the whole thing, Control C, go back to the Word file and paste it here. I mean, you can arrange it side by side or as well. So you have to get a scatterplot matrix, sorry, scatterplot graph, and inside that you must have the red line. So that's called the regression equation line or regression line, or we also call it as line of fit. Done. So first part was to find the correlation coefficient. We did that. And second part was to find the regression equation. We did that as well. And next step is to find the point estimate and the predicted values, right? So predicted values are nothing but your confidence interval. Okay. Now let's do that. I don't need this. Okay. And next is to find the point estimate and PI values. PI values. Okay, so to find the predicted values, we are going to create two new rows in the existing subset of small town. Okay, observe this carefully. And why do I need to do this? That's because your question is asking to find the correlation coefficient of R, R, we did that, right? And that's for the variables weight and height. Okay, and they wanted to find the separate regression models for male and female, that I will show you. And they want us to use height as independent variable. And then if the correlation is significant, it is significant. And how can I say that? When we have a positive correlation, we say the correlation coefficient is significant. Okay, so since it is significant, we will obtain a point estimate and PI values for height of 71 and height of 63. So we have two new additional values. Now we are supposed to enter these values in your subset. Okay, I'm not sure whether we have those values here in the existing column. So let's create a new two rows. So how to do that? All you have to do is, I can't scroll down more. In the end here, after 130 or after your final row, double click. Okay, do that twice. We need two rows. in the end. Did you get that? You just need 2. Done? So once we do this, you just have to enter male and female, male and female, male as M and female as F. Okay, and then we are going to enter values for height. So let us see what those values are. Now they want us to enter 71 inch for male, right? So you don't have to write it as inch, but yeah, you can just type the number there. 71 for male, okay, and 63 for female. So I will go ahead and enter 63 here. Done? So next is we need to find the regression model, right? For that, go to analyze. Analyze. You see the fit model there? That will give the regression model to us. Okay, click on fit model. Now, since height is the independent variable, I'm going to put that in the add section. Or since we entered new values to the height column, I am going to put that in the add section here. Now remaining is weight, that goes to the y here and separated by 6, so 6 goes to the y. Done? Okay, so once you do this, you have to click on run. Click on run here, and that will give the regression model. So this entirely is called as regression model. Okay, so you have to copy the whole thing and paste it. So before you copy the whole thing, okay, so as you can see, you also have the F ratio, the probability values given, the p values given. Okay, now I need to find the predicted values and the point estimate. To do that, go to the red arrow, save column. I need predicted values, right? So you have to choose predicted values. Okay, click only once. Click only once. Done? So once you do that, again go back to the red arrow, because what we did was for prediction values, and next what we need is point estimate. So for that, go to red arrow, click on save column, and then choose individual confidence interval. Okay, individual confidence interval. Choose that. Done. There is no change in the plot. I will show you what changes you made in the subset. Now all you have to do is copy the whole thing. Let's see. Yeah. Copy the whole thing, but make it as small as possible. This is for F. Okay. Just click on the whole thing here. Control C. Control C. Go back to the Word file. Okay. So just leave some space there and give a heading as regression model, and then Control V. Please convert that to the picture format, or else it looks very messy, and just minimize it as much as possible, but it has to be clearly seen. Okay, and this is for female. Males. This size is enough. Okay, this would be a good size. Now, in the same way, you will just plot it for males as well. Go to the subset, scroll down, click on male here, Control C, and enter, Control V, convert to picture format. Done. Okay. So once you are done copy and pasting the whole thing, the last and final step is go back to the subset of small town, not the plot, but subset of small town. So these are the changes you can see. You have a predicted values and you have a point estimate values, lower CI and individual upper CI. All you have to do is copy only the. Do you have the same thing given here? Or do you have some values? Why is that? Oh, okay, I get it. That's because I did not do. But yeah. Okay. So you have to do the same thing for M here. Go to the red arrow. I guess you have not closed the picture. So go to the red arrow in the males. Okay, save column and predicted values. Save columns, red arrow, save column, predicted values. Okay, and again go back, save column, individual confidence interval. Individual confidence interval. Done. That's it. Now you can close the plot. Okay, and you can see you have values for both. So all I need is these two values. Okay, so you can just crop it or take a screenshot and then crop it, or you have this tool in the Windows. I guess this is available only in Windows. So open this and click on new, and then all you have to do is just crop whichever you want. Okay, copy the whole thing, go back to the Word file, and then paste it here. Done. So that will complete your question number 1. Too lengthy. Yes. Okay. So the final step, all you have to do is you have to crop these 2 rows. Okay. So for that, you can just take a screenshot and then crop and just paste it. Or you can use the tool which is available in Windows. Just type it as SNIPP and open that. Click on new here, and I just need the last 2 rows. So I will just start from here, crop it. Okay, and then copy, go to your Word file, and here you had a empty space. So here you just paste. Oh, you mean here? Okay, you have to click on the red arrow. Yes, save column, predicted values. Okay, You also have to do one more thing. Oh, okay, great. Okay, good. Okay, so this will complete your question 1A. Done? I know it's too lengthy. Okay, so let us start question number 1B. Okay, let me scroll down. Question number 1B, just copy and paste it in your Word file. This is B. Okay, so it's the same thing. You just have to repeat the same step, but this time you have systolic blood pressure and BMI separated by sex again. So let's start that. Okay, so you don't have to change anything here. You don't have to delete these columns. Okay, so we will just continue in the same way. Now, go to analyze. This is to find the confidence interval. Go to analyze and then multivariate and then click on multivariate again. Analyze multivariate methods, multivariate. Done. So here we have systolic blood pressure and we have BMI. So you have to put all those two in Y column, systolic blood pressure and BMI. Okay, and then separated by sex goes to bisection here. Done, and then click on OK. Done. Now you can see a small change. These are the light colored dots. Why is that? Because that's because we have a negative relationship between two variables, the BMI and systolic blood pressure. Okay, so you got your correlation coefficient, which is negative 0.047, and that is not significant. Okay, that's because we have a negative correlation value. So all you have to do is just copy this one, only this one. Okay, go to your Word file and type it as correlation coefficient for females, and you are going to paste the entire thing. Done. So you do the same thing for males. Yes, here, scroll down and copy this and paste it here. Done? Okay, so once you do this, next is to find the regression equation. Regression equation. Can close this. Go to your subset of small town. Analyze fit y by x. Analyze fit y by x. Okay, so let us see the independent variable here. So it says BMI as a independent variable. So we have to keep BMI in the X factor and the remaining systolic blood pressure in the Y response, sex in the Y. Okay, and then click on OK. That's it. Now click on the red arrow fit line. Red arrow fit line, and then scroll down again fit line. Done. So once you do this entire thing, you can copy the whole thing, whole entire thing, and you can paste it, but that will create a more lengthy page. So you can copy this separately and paste it side by side. So this is for females. Done. Okay. And next is we need to find the point estimate and predicted values. But since the correlation coefficient is not significant, your lab manual says since it is not significant, you will use mean systolic blood pressure and the corresponding CI for the mean for your prediction interval. So you just have to report the mean of systolic blood pressure and the corresponding CI. Okay, so all you have to do is go to your subset of small town. I need to find the confidence interval and the mean of systolic blood pressure. So how do? We just use the distribution. That is, we just plot the histogram and that will give us both things. So go to Y column, separated by sex as usual, and click on OK. You don't have to paste the entire thing. Horizontal layout. Okay, so here you can see you have mean, you have upper 95% CI, lower CI, all those things. So all you have to do is just copy that one small thing here. Okay, this one. Yes. So go to your Word file. So you just say since correlation is not significant, use mean and CI as predicted values. use mean and CI of systolic blood pressure as predicted values. Okay, and then you just type it as females and paste the plot here. Then you have to paste for males as well. And that's it. So that's the end of 1B. Done? Okay. So if you are done with this, you can go ahead and start 1C. Here, it was negative and positive. Okay. If it is positive, then you have to repeat the first step, what we did here. So never mind, since you did that for 1A, just try to paste graphs only related to females. So for the females, you got it as negative. So you can paste the graph related to females. Okay, you can just omit this one. So you have to use this, the mean of systolic blood pressure and the confidence interval only if your correlation is not significant. That is, if the R value is negative, then only you are supposed to use this. If it is not, then you will repeat the same thing what we did in question 1A, and you will fill the rows with the values which is mentioned in 1B. Okay, so do the same thing for 1C as well. So for 1C, you will just use salary and charity, and again, the female and male is not mentioned, but you're supposed to plot it for salary, charity, and sex. And then you have a new value, and this you can give it for he or she. That means you can just mention one row and enter it as male or female, whatever you want. And that corresponding row will have this new value. Okay, and 1C, you have to repeat the same steps which you did in 1A if you have a positive correlation coefficient. Okay, if not, you will follow 1B. Got it? So that will end your 1A, B, C. And for the part 2, you just have to summarize whatever you have learned in this lab, and also if you have found anything interesting you have learned while doing the problems, you can just report that. Okay, so that will end lab 10 and also the entire lab for this semester.